In the area of tertiary education, till date, financial clearance has been given to over 6,178 staff to be recruited into our tertiary system. Almost every university that required a financial clearance has been given financial clearance. Also, the government has agreed to give post-retired lecturers contracts if you are a professorial grade up to the age of 70, and if you are non-professorial up to the age of 65. So for all academic staff in the universities who are willing to serve and whose services are needed by the universities, government has approved a grant in being given contracts. Also, since the institution of book and research allowance, which became an issue for the last election, that it was going to be cancelled in favor of a tertiary refund bill, government has not only restored the book and research allowance, the research grant component has been increased by 200% from 500 to 1,500 cedis. Also, in addition, government has placed before the Parliament of Ghana a Ghana National Research Fund bill to bring in more investments and funds to support research in this country. I think everybody must have heard about the Public University Bill. And everybody would also acknowledge that this is the first time in this country that a university bill has been such extensively discussed. All the better for that. Government has nothing to hide in advocating for a public university bill. In fact, on June 14, 2019, the Ghana Tertiary Education Policy, the first of its kind, was launched on the premises of the University of Ghana. And it is that policy which had a committee, so Professor Clifford Nibo Itego as chair, that brought together the Ghana Tertiary Education Policy, a former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana. That policy is what fashioned out the Public University Bill. Government would like to acknowledge the role of UTAG in making the bill a better bill than had been originally envisaged. We will continue to work with UTAG and other interested stakeholders to make the bill worthwhile for this country. But we should also acknowledge that in 2012, all 38 colleges of education under His Excellency John Evans Atta Mills were brought under a One College of Education Act. In 2016, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, all technical universities were brought under one act. One act does not mean a distraction of the autonomous nature of our universities or academic freedom. In fact, for the first time in this country, academic freedom is going to be enshrined in the law. And we will thank the University Teachers Association of Ghana for even improving what government had envisaged. And we welcome suggestions. Parliament has requested for memorandum, and people should send their memorandum to make the bill a better bill. We would like to say that those wanting to speak about the bill should start from the genesis of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission policy paper and see why government has gone the way it wants to go. Thank you. Then the third issue why we are here is about the reopening of schools. His Excellency, the President, did direct that the educational institutions must start reopening from the 15th of June. We must reopen still with the social distancing and hygiene protocols in place. We must reopen with final year students, meaning those students in any institutions which have their final exams. So if you go to some institutions, there will be people ready to write a certificate for NVTI. If you go to some institutions, there'll be some people wanting to write their final examination or were preparing for their final examination of a NAPTEX exam. So it is those classes that government intends reopening schools for to complete their years. When you come into the Ghana Education Service, those classes would include junior high school students who are about writing their BEC. It would include senior high school students who were just about starting their SSCE exams, and final year university students who are about completing their studies. Yesterday, around 4 p.m., we had a long discussion with all the vice chancellors as to how to roll their reopening out of public universities. The opening up of the universities that will start on the 15th of March, 15th of June 2020 is for the tertiary institutions. All tertiary institutions can open from the 15th of June. And I mean final year students. In private and public institutions can make arrangements and start going into school from 15th of June. They can have academic work, lectures and revisions for 6 weeks and then write their final exams. This is to forestall an incident where a student will come up and say, where I live, and some of us live at Ekrasi, where I live, there was no internet and I could not even hear the announcement of the universities, so I could not submit my assignments and I could not do anything. We give them the chance to come to school to complete. Then there's a subsect, a group, who are foreign students. All the universities are already deploying virtual systems, and foreigners are participating. If we've discussed it with the vice chancellors, if there's a foreign students who escaped the lockdown, because our calculation such that almost all the foreign students were kept on the campuses because the lockdown, they couldn't leave. But if one or two were able to leave, we have requested for their passport details to be forwarded to us through their vice chancellors and National Council for Tertiary Education, so that if they can fly back, the immigration would open the borders for them to come. But if they do come, they'll be quarantined for 2 weeks before they will be allowed to mix and complete the academic work. Any school that will be reopening, any educational institution, and I'm saying educational institutions because from the 15th, all educational institutions that have these final exams type of students are allowed to open, that are not necessarily in the Ministry of Education. So there are other institutions outside the Ministry of Education which have training institutions and educational institutions. Our last check, these institutions were over 400. There were all the military training academies, all the Ghana Police Service training schools, all the Immigration Service training schools, all the Customs and Ghana Revenue Agency training schools. That is a category that is not under the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Transport has the Regional Maritime University that is not under the Ministry of Education per se. And it has the Ghana Technology Training Center as well. The Ministry of Aviation has the Aviation Training School. The Ministry of Fisheries has a Fisheries College. The Ministry of Local Government has the CDVTIs. The Ministry of Gender has the Social Welfare Schools. The Ministry of Employment and Labor has the OICs and MVTIs and whatnot. And almost every institution that has a training facility is allowed to open from 15th. The government has decided that all these institutions, one, should be fumigated against the COVID before the schools reopen. And that is why we have a phased approach to opening the schools. We are starting from the tertiary and non-Ministry of Education and Training institutions. The universities have provided most of these things for themselves, but those who are having problems working through the National Council for Tertiary Education, government is going to support them with face masks and spraying of all these institutions. Also, the Ministry of Health, through the Ghana Health Service, has collaborated extensively with the Ministry of Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Information to come up with a program of sensitizing school leaders to ensure that these hygiene and sanitation and social distancing protocols are maintained in our educational facilities. That is going to be rolled out. There is going to be a special campaign to ensure that students go back to school, especially the JSS level, that the girl child is not left behind, that we are going to make sure that the school rules are known, and those children who don't report to school, we go back and find out why they are not reporting to get them back to school. There's going to be an aggressive campaign. When schools reopen, the schools will not be available for religious activities. When schools do reopen, the schools will not be available for religious activities. And it's simple. We don't want too many interactions that can bring in and take out if we perish their thought. If it's to so happen, we can contact trace who must have brought or come to the school with this virus we have to deal with. So we want to keep it slim and make sure that only students and their lecturers or teachers are in school. When the junior schools, senior high schools do open, there will be no visitors allowed for the period that they are in school. Parents cannot go and visit their kids for that period. And the junior high school is going to operate a shorter school day so that playground activities would not be permitted. Assemblies will not be permitted. The kids will start school at 9 a.m. and by 1, they should be done and go to school. Breaks will be had in the class. The students will rest between lectures, 45 minutes. They will have a rest for 15 minutes before another, and a maximum of 4 lectures a day, and they can go back to school. Like I said, there will be no mass gathering, and all class sizes are going to be split to ensure the social distancing protocols. We do know that averaging the senior high school, maximum class is about 50. So we want to maintain classes not more than 25. And in the junior high school, not more than 30. Ghana Health Service, working with Ghana Education Service, has mapped schools to health facilities or public health specialists, so that if a child is unwell, that child should be isolated, and the specific public health official or authority or institution notified for the necessary tests and things to be done. This would also allow us, even if there is an incident in the school, to be able to isolate, quarantine, and contact trace the necessary people that we have to do. That senior high schools will reopen on the 22nd, and all day students in boarding schools will be accepted as boarders. All day students in boarding schools. That means schools that are operating as boarding schools as well. Those day students would have accepted as boarders. For pure day schools, there will be enhanced protocols to look after the children. We are not going to provide buses for them because the health experts tell us that the bus is too cluttered a space for these kids, and it's better for them even when they walk to school and things like that. But we would ensure that the necessary things are done to prevent the spread of the virus in the schools. Senior high schools would open on the 22nd. There will be no visitors allowed. They'll be there for academic work and revision for 6 weeks and do their West Africa Examination Council, their Ghana exams, that we understand will take 5 weeks. The junior high schools will reopen on the 29th, and they will be in school for 11 weeks and have their exams on the 12th week to ensure that they finish the academic year. For the senior high schools, the gold track second-year students who had about 6 weeks to finish the first semester work will be allowed also to be on campus to finish the first semester work. Like we said, there'll be no mass gatherings. So dining hall is going to be operated in batches. Everything to ensure distancing and social and hygiene protocols that we've said. There will be no sports during that period. Of course, the students' main reason for going is to go to study for their exams. And we said for the junior high schools, there will be no outside breaks apart from nature calls. There will be no outside breaks. We expect the school will start at 9. We expect the children to eat before they get to the classroom, and they can have their water or their snack with them as well. And when they get into the classroom, they'll have breaks between the courses. It starts at 9 and it ends at 1 p.m., and the children do go home. We have displayed on the screens the opening plan, starting from the 15th, for the universities and tertiary institutions and non-Ministry of Education institutions. Then on the 22nd, the senior high schools, plus the gold track students. Then 29th, the junior high schools and their exams as well. In due course, studying how the virus is behaving, studying how opening the final year students, the virus would behave. Then we'll come back to Ghanaians with the reopening dates for continuing students. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, thank you for that presentation. Colleagues, we're going to delve straight into the questions associated with this presentation this morning. So like we do always, if you have questions, we'll take a first batch of 3. Can I ask my team to set up the microphone? Yes. So we'll take a first batch of 3 questions. 1, 2. If I have a lady, I'll take, so that we have some gender balance in this. I don't seem to find a lady. There are 2. Is there a third question? Yes, Star FM. So yes, first 3. Morning. Opoku kasa den kakra wa ni nti oye.
Bajo FM Opoku Samo. Me free Kingdom FM. Bajo me question here me bra wife les me musa question ma kakra. Your friend enu Mary. Oka teacher for no mo be try the form 3 final year students no SHS for no. Sorry, GHS for no. So obusa say almost so no would they be classified say front line workers this time around on go school na.
The question then they say SHS final year teachers need say would they be classified as what?
Say almost front line workers and
I say classify front line workers.
Okay, so
they are classified front line health workers. And no there's a specific definition for it. To pacho be so question you need to me more.
Almost this time around on no. Interact with students.
The question then they say teacher for now is there any extra incentive? That is the actual question.
That's the question.
Okay, the question they say teacher for now is there any special arrangement for the teachers who are going to teach the final year students? Okay. Okay, but colleagues, I think some questions now say general, so that it's not about to be specific, a general question. Yes, sir.
I'm from the ICAG.
You are from the
ICAG. ICAG.
If you can give us a full meaning, I'm not sure it's everybody who knows.
Accountants Ghana.
Institute of
Chartered Accountants.
Chartered Accountants Ghana. Yes, go ahead, sir.
And we started preparing students for examination before the lockdown.
You started, I mean, if you come closer to the microphone.
We started preparing students for the examination before the lockdown. We are examining body. And per our timetable, we should have had examination in May, first week in May. With the easing of the restrictions, we plan having that in July. Indeed, our students are both in this country, Liberia and the Gambia. And we are asking if we are able to put in place all the safety protocols, can we organize examination?
Minister, I said you loud and clear. Please take a seat. Minister, perhaps while you are at that, you may want to reiterate the broader category of institutions that are not senior high school or tertiary, like you have done at some of the other levels. I'll come to you shortly. I'll take a third question. Yes, sir.
My name is Eric Mel and I work with Star FM. Honorable, there's a concern that's come from some of the teachers, particularly NAT. They're asking whether there will be general testing for students if schools should reopen. They are asking for the provision of thermometer guns, among other things. So the question is that, are such provisions going to be made whilst we're preparing to reopen schools? And then for the senior high schools, there's a concern that's come that for the pantries and the matrons that operate, a lot of them go back home and come back before they come and cook for the student and all of that. Is there going to be specific testing for these individuals who don't stay in the school and go back into the communities? Because the minister says that even day students are going to be housed to ensure that they don't go back.
So what are the arrangements for the teaching and non-teaching staff that are not resident on campus?
On campus as well.
Thank you. Minister, the first three questions, if you join me up here and take them, we'll take a second batch later.
Thank you. In all that we are doing, we work closely with the experts to direct us as to the best resolutions for some of these issues. All schools are going to be reopened, and we must understand that there are workers who have been working throughout this period to keep us where we are, to generate government revenue, to even pay those who are not even working in this period. In other places, salaries are being cut for this same period. So the definition of frontline workers, the frontline workers, health workers, is the definition the COVID team will tell you. There are those who are dealing with patients directly, not those who are dealing with the general citizenry. So there's a difference. In all that we are doing, we have not left the unions out. There have been stakeholders who have been consulted, their inputs have been received, and they've been factored into it. This notion of testing, I'll leave the health workers to come and explain better. But a test today does not mean a non-infected person tomorrow. A test, negative test in the morning, this morning, does not mean a negative test for the same person in the evening. And so, yes, we did agree with the unions, and it was explained by the COVID team expert that daily testing has not been implemented anywhere in the world. Even the White House West Wing people, some don't go through even daily testing. So daily testing is not the issue. It's being able, if there's an incident, to isolate, to contact trace, and to deal, to test and to deal with those citizens. And that is what the Ghana has done so well that our maps are different from other nations' maps. So that issue of NAT, if you have followed NAT carefully, NAT has moved on, and they started with no school should be reopened. They came to present their 19-point proposal. Discussions have been had, agreements have been reached, and we are where we are, and we will continue. Not all teachers stay on campus. It's not only pantry staff. Even teachers who are teaching the kids directly for the 4 hours they will be in school or 6 hours. Not all of them stay in school. Even in senior high schools, there are a sizable number of teachers, even in universities, who stay outside campus and come. But I always tell people to draw their mind. They should be smart about the COVID. You maintain all your social protocols. You work as a teacher. Your wife works as a yam seller in the market. Who is going to give the COVID to who? And send it to the school or take it out of the school? Or the junior high school student coming from home, coming to school, is he the one bringing it to the teacher or is the teacher? So we don't have to work like that. We have to work according to the science and the experts. That fear should not be what drives us. The data should be what drives us. And the data is saying that if you can keep the social distances, if you can get the face masks to wear, if you can have the Veronica buckets to wash your hands with soap, or you can have the sanitizer to sanitize your hands, and you can keep that distance of 1 meter protocol in this country, you are safe to interact. If the class is not going to be more than 100, and in our classes it's 25 or 30, you are safe to interact. You are safe to do private weddings if they are not more than 50, or more than 100. So those are the sensibilities we are bringing into the schools. And that is why not all schools are being reopened. It's only the final year students to finish their exams. And I did say that it is the final exam years. It's the final exam years. Borders remain closed. So if you can bring your students, you claim you have students in Liberia. Is there a flight from Liberia? And I carefully explained. They will write in Liberia, and so it shouldn't be a problem for you. It shouldn't be a problem for you. But if you are going to write exams, those protocols must be observed. The kids, the senior high schools and the junior high schools will be writing B, C, and WASI. Why? Because if you look at an examination hall, even before COVID, they had social distances. Because during the exam, some necks grew astronomically in length for exams, so they did bring in the social protocols. So we would respect those social protocols. And like I said, it's for really the final examination classes. Some are writing certificates, some are writing all other courses. And please, all students are going to be provided a set of face masks, a set of 3. And the schools are going to be sprayed of COVID. And then the Veronica buckets and sanitizers will be provided. There's a special team, Ghana Health Service, Ghana Education Service, Ministry of Information, police, military, under the office of the senior minister, working on that issue. So they will deal with that. Thank you.
We're going to take a second batch of 3. 1, 2.
Yeah, my name is Festus Longmate. I am with the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition. Yeah, I want to find out what the Ministry of Education and government is doing to support the Ghana Education Service to ensure that education on the safety protocols, are put in accessible format for children with special education needs so that these children are not left out.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Joshua Smith. My question is, in relation to the fumigation exercise, we realize that the president says the Ministry of Education, together with the heads of the private schools and then the public schools, should ensure that it's being done. But here, how is the ministry going to ensure that they monitor, to ensure that most of the schools adhere to this so that the students will not find themselves wanting?
So one is what is the ministry's mechanism for monitoring the disinfection of schools?
And then a clarification to this. WASI is an exam that is being done by most of the West African countries. But there's a case where Ghanaian students are going to school to go and prepare. And then I want to find out from the ministry, how are the students going to write these exams when the other countries are not allowing their students to go into the school to go and partake in this?
Fair question. You have 2 questions. I'll take your final question.
Thank you. My name is Larry Ebado from the Colleges of Education Weekly Journal. I want to ask the Honorable Minister the final crop of diploma student teachers in colleges of education, also in their final years. I don't know whether they're going to fall under the university reopening plan. And then my second question is, student teachers in colleges of education are paid a monthly stipend when they're on campus. But for the sake of COVID, they've been home for some time now and still holding virtual lessons. Most of them are crying for their monthly stipends. Will government pay them in this period? Thank you.
Thank you. Did I see some hands at the back to take a final batch of questions? 1, so that we can box them for Honorable Minister. He has to attend to Parliament this morning. So are there, or is there a final batch? 1. Is there a final batch? 1, 2. Are there questions? Madam, please come up. Are there any other questions? So this will be our final 2, and then Honorable Minister will respond to them as we wrap up. Yes, sir.
My name is John Elliott. I want to know what will happen to final year students who are not allowed into the country as a result of their borders closed. What are the measures the ministry has in place for them?
But I thought that question was, it was answered a few minutes ago.
Okay, all right.
Okay, do you have another question?
No problem.
Okay, that question was answered a few minutes ago. Madam, we'll give you the final word.
Thank you. My name is Mamiesi Thompson, Joy News. The minister made mention that on the Public Universities Bill, contrary to concerns that the freedom of the universities will be curtailed, he said it would rather be enshrined. I want him to clarify on that bit. Also, some contact tracers are saying that they haven't been paid for a while now. I want to know what the arrangements are. And then...
No, that question is not for education. We'll take it, note it, and then when our teams from health join us, for the subsequent briefings, we'll respond to that one. Some contact tracers say they haven't been paid.
Yes.
Which ones are these? Is there a specific area they're coming from?
No, like general.
Okay, so maybe the question is, what's the status of payment for contact tracers?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Mamiesi, we'll take that under advisement and then we'll get a response from you. Minister, so once you put it all together, then we'll be fine.
Ghana National Education Concern Coalition or Campaign Coalition. The Director General is sitting next to you. The Director General of Ghana Education Service is sitting next to you, and very close is the Chairman of Council and the Deputy. In fact, the Deputy Director General for Access and Quality is sitting behind you as well. I think they have, it is not the ministry coming here to speak. It is the work that has been done by the implementing agencies, the Ghana Education Service, the National Council of Tertiary Education, the universities, Ghana Health Service, and all other stakeholder unions. The meetings are not publicized. It doesn't mean they haven't happened. In fact, the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition have given us bills for special schools. Okay. Okay, this is just to say that the work is ongoing and all stakeholders are participating. They operate the schools, and if the schools are not safe to open, I'm not sure they would open the schools. The safety of the vulnerable is even more paramount. When we said that we are going to do aggressive school re-entry campaigns, it's especially for the vulnerable, to make sure that they are not left behind. So that is all an implementation policy they are going to do. And I think if we are not supporting them, we will not be here. And they know that it has even been escalated to a committee under the senior minister to ensure that the implementation is followed through. And they met yesterday, and today they are meeting as well to ensure that everything, including making sure that the institutions are sprayed, the face masks are given, the Veronica buckets, and the sanitizers, and soap, and whatnot. So there's a team working. Monitoring. We should be each other's keeper. COVID is one of the few diseases where my safety depends upon your actions. and somebody's safety depends upon my actions. Like I said previously for this podium, if I don't move, you don't get the virus if I have it. So we should be each other's keeper in this time. Church services are being gradually opened. Mosques, churches. It's not about government monitoring. It's about we all monitoring and making sure that the church next door to your house, if they are not following the protocols, you either have to speak to the pastor or speak to the authorities to come to the church to visit them. The staff of the Ministry of Education is less than 100. We cannot be everywhere. But we hope that the policies that the experts have put together are sensible enough for everybody to follow. And that is why they will do a sensitization program on school leaders and school heads to ensure that everybody understands what we are unfolding. There will be leaflets and publicity campaigns to ensure that. But we have to understand that somebody's misaction or somebody flouting is a danger to all of us here. If you have a fever, don't go to school. We expect no parent to send a child to school when the child is unwell. If we can all do our bits, I think we can kill this virus as quickly as possible. Examination. WASI. Somebody asked the question. When you go to some West African countries, they have their national exam. In fact, Ghana had a national exam plus the WASI till 2014 or 2012, thereabout. We had the SSCE, and we had the West Africa Exams Council. We have discussed elaborately with the Ghana West Africa Examination Council, and they are doing a Ghana-specific exam because the other countries are not operating. Day diploma students. I know that your allowances are being processed, and the Executive Secretary of NCT and is here, and the Chief Director of the Ministry. If you have the evidence is that they can show you letters that requirement has moved from the Ministry of Education to the Ministry of Finance for processing. It is not given every month. The allowances are not given every month. It is meant for a semester. So they are given for the 4 months that the semester occurs. So there's a maximum amount of money you can claim in a semester. So if it is given, as you are championing, and they stay for a longer time, extras won't be given because they are giving for a period. And that answers the monthly stipend. The final year diploma students are certificate students that have to go to school. So the NCT will work it out with. In fact, this afternoon, I have a meeting with the colleges of education in my office, like I had with the vice chancellor. So we will roll it out quite nicely. There was something about final year from Joy FM. I never understood it. There's a question you asked about final year. I said, and I'll say it again so that everybody hears clearly. The first time ever in the history of this country that a Public University Act or a University Act has included sessions on academic freedom is what is in the Public University Bill. Never in the history of this country. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, I want to say a big thank you for making time to be with us this morning and to respond to the queries that came up, and also to present to us, more importantly, the details of what it means to ease restrictions for final years who have exams to write in academic institutions. Colleagues, this all time would allow us this morning. I want to say thank you. Tomorrow morning, we would have another Minister of State, most likely the Minister for Sports, join us with details of what it means for non-contact sports to commence some sort of activities. Thank you very much for your time.
Nondu abapa hosima eduasa enwotwe ewa Adom TV so Pampaso ebre enie na wonim se ene yebre ne dodo na ye de ekotie nkyeremu a efa oman ngomasua ene gogo a yagogo nhyehyɛ ya edaso efa coronavirus no ho no obeka ya na no kwasi ada na Ghana mampani na adan kwakufu ado edi tu dwase wo easy restrictions no a ene yi ye ngomasua ho nsensem ye wo sukufo a ebi wo university ebi wo senior high school ebi wo junior high school any other institutions a na ebra so se won mo twro mo so hwetwa to kra e de wie sukuu no so esan coronavirus yade kwatwebrafo yi ebesinse wie ma de tabo no atu bibia so ntino na won ma kansinsemu kakra nti yegum ama saa nipakuo na ebra so mo twro mo so hwe no omo atimi akwakwa no mapani kaye no e no se edwum eda esedura no eno nti yewra Matthew Opoku Prempe Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe yeso afo hwe ngumasua nsem so no obeba na oba be kirikiri mu asiase adomu asuko ampampa eno na ade ekoso sisi o Ministry of Information a opani no aba be kasa na nsem a wode ebetu dwan highlighter na se napo ni bi no yebo ne tewa wakirem se eye senior high schools a ewo oman mu no eye final year student no ombe san ku school na ebebie school no eye June busumi o medato so aduonu mienu 22nd June omo ene eye second year gold track for no second year for ni nyina ne bibie eye 22nd June na omo akonti final year students ewo senior high school so omo kokotro wasi no yese nyame ya adomo a 22nd June eno omo ebie omo ni gold track for no ekwa kodi just about 6 weeks esi akabe na watwi nsia na omo no first semester no mom dia be we nto ombeko akwakwa wie eno na senior high school final year students no so omo so akwakwa bobo omo ho e de atwen so hwe no saso ena junior high school eye JHS for no so no final year students no ebeko nyame ya adomo a June busu me to so aduonu enkron eye 29th June a omo so ekwakodi na awotwe edubako 11 weeks pepe na omo de abobo ho atwen eye BEC no enti na chese enumu asem eno no nti omo ko 11 weeks na the 12th week no na omo tro omo BEC from 29th June e de e kontu count no eye ahead a obehunu eye date na eye BEC no so ebe hyase na yenhwe university for no e de omo school no ebie eye 15th June e de ama the final year students 15th June busme de to so edunum a chese 2 weeks away from today ena omo ebebie na nhye a empanimfo ede egu akwamu ne se sebeye unu se schools ni bebree switch to online I say exams no ni ade on be online so nipa no enye nyina na se bi besi ana your privilege any access to internet obi won mo ni chrome common telephone network kra no ebi ni ho so ahun ti so obenya internet access so de transfer hwe no na ye se wabo na bra ni sun kra no enti se be na manya kwan submit me exams na network na ho ngeka ho nti na aban adwene ho sebre no mu odin de nanso yempe bon ketewa bi empoma bi na omumra metro mo so hwe ni nwie sebe ombehu sampa school no omawie a omawie no pepam anase ekwampa so enti university students final year students no beko 15 June na omso akoya hoboboa e de atwen eye ensohwe a ewo so omotro no na opanini si so kra ansa no bi so sabe bi sama na se su biem se womo a ewo universities ahodo any various institutions ahodo ewo manmu a sebe omo nye omanya de hye omo firi amahodo so a yetoto omanya hye mu nti omo koka omo krom omo so be de aba betro nso hwe no e no se suku ahodo no emu mpanimfo no asoye ne omo dinkita ho se obi bia oye suku ni ebra so se owie suku enso yade nti wakoka suoja no omo mfo omo nkrata mra na aban apekwan a obefa so a wode omo nyina beba mo motima baba betro omo nso hwe pepe eno da nchen a obi wo hono a na ofiri ni kuro mu be bisa se na oba no se yade ni bi won ho ana se se ya yese se ni pa no mba be mantamo ma hyedem na fodunan mandatory quarantine ni bi se be ya bibi wo ho obi pie ansakra ne nso hwe ne bre no atumi aso eti yeni nsem kakra obdi tu na senior high school no ensem kakra wo ho no se ne se sempanimfo enya bietum se kim efri eye 22nd June no ekona se third week se first Sunday of the month se hwan ɛyɛ edu hɔ a yɛsi yɛkɔsra sukuu nkɔdaa no yɛtwam ɛnya ade a ɛkwan da hɔ sɛ wofo bia obetumi akɔsra oba wɔn kɔ sukuu no so a ɛkwan bia soɔ no sɛ woyɛ day student mpo ɛwɔ senior high school so no bi a mpanifo bɛhwɛ sɛ ɔmbɛgye watena ɛyɛ boarding house sɛ bɛyɛ na wonkɔ na woma nkɔ bia akɔte yadeɛ bi yɛbɛsa wɔn a ɔmote faako no nti woyɛ day student mpo a final year yi deɛ yɛde wokɔ akɔka final year afoɔ no ho na mo nyina mo atena campus hɔ yɛnyɛ assembly okopoku a yɛwɔfo ya kakraka aduru hɔ no mo ane yɛwɔ abɛgyina hɔ na kyerɛ sɛ mo nyina mo asesa line to national anthem national pledge no yɛnyɛ saa deɛ no bi dining hall koraa no according to the minister no yɛbɛkɔ no in batches we mu bɛkɔ akɔdidi tete ɔmo ntɛm didi twam nkɔntɔmo awie a na mo apie akɔ no musu akesu abɔnten na foforɔ so abɛwuram na ɔmo so aba bɛdidi nyinaa yɛ kwan ɛfa so yɛ ensure social distancing ne preventive etiquette no na ɛno atimi aboa ma yɛabɔ yɛn ho ban ɛnkɔ nkɔma sɛ yɛpɛsi yɛ ade pa de bo sukuu nkɔdaa no ne bɛwi akyire no yɛkɔbrɛ go so ne yɛso mpafe ɛnam na akɔ tete yadeɛ no de abɔ ɔmo ho afei so wakyerɛ m sɛ sukuu korɔ no nɔnkoro kɔpem dɔnko na kyerɛ sɛ 4 hours no na ɔmo awie deɛ ɔso ɔmo yɛ biara na afei sɛ break mpo bɛba a for senior high school for no ɛne ɛyɛ junior high school for no break bɛba a ɛyɛ in class mu break wɔ class na mu mpie nkɔ abɔnten si ama break o kɔtɔ maame ne nkate ne kwadu kɔkɔ ayɛ atoto dabi mu wɔ class wɔ nti mu pɔn a mu apɔn mu mpɔn ya mu wɔ class hɔ a wɔn bɛ ensure sɛ saa deɛ wei ɛbɛyɛ adwuma ɛna afei so no wasan ɛde ato edwa sɛ sporting activity biara ni wɔ sɛ kɔ school mu ɛnyɛ brain ni tumrika ɛnyɛ brain ni ɛbɔ ball ɛnyɛ brain ni ɛbɔ ampe ɛnyɛ brain ni ɛbɔ chaskele ɛno nso yɛ ade a mpanifo ɛde ato dwa sɛ ɔbɛhwɛ na ɛtumi akɔ so na even in their various classes no yɛn nyinaa ni sɛ on a normal day wobɛkɔ class bi nipa 40 47 50 ne ho nkeka ho sesei ɛwɔ ɛyɛ senior high school no ɔbɛhwɛ sɛ class biara no final year students na ɛkɔ no esanse ɛwɔ various classes ɛwɔ hɔ no mu a ɛbɛyɛ empty ni nti ɛbɛkyekyɛ ɔmo mu ti class biara nipa naboro so a 25 number no 25 aduonunum okɔ junior high school a aboro so a aduasa die ɔmo no yɛ man kɔdaa no ɛmoro so ɛnkɔkyerɛ so nkɔpepe so na ɛbɛwi akyire no bibi akɔgye nsɛmo wei ne ɛnkyerɛmu a ɔpanini de baeɛ akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ mpanimfoɔ kuo ahodoɔ so ɔmo mo adi nkita ho akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ no ahobanbɔ ɛna afei yɛ nsuo ne sanitizers ne protective equipment a wɔn bɛhia materials no ne nyinaa no mpanimfoɔ so ɔmbɛyɛ nsure sɛ ɛbɛyɛ adwuma na adeɛ baako nso a mpanimfoɔ ɛde ato edwa ɛne sɛ sukuu no mpanimfoɔ ɛhwɛ sɛ go track foɔ no sɛ wɔn ba na wɔn bɛwie na wɔn kɔ a wɔn bɛbreki na mmom based on science data any advice free Ghana Health Service sɛ ɛnɛ day to day advice free Ghana Health Service no ministry ne Ghana Education Service ne monitor ahwɛ the right decisions we see taking at any point in time enti sɛ kɔkɔba sɛ we no awie sukuu na ɛkɔ yɛ ne mu no yadeɛ no afei deɛ wɔsi ne trase ne nsɛm ayɛ mmerɛ ne nsɛm agogo nti wɔsi ebie sukuu ne nkaeɛ na aban bɛhwɛ na wɔde ɛno aba sɛ enuru saa mpɛmpɛnsoɔ na ɛneɛ na yɛbɛkɔ so a akurakura mu sɛ ama we mu awie na afei yɛ de akonkɔn hɔ ansa na de aka bia no aba na adeɛ baako a ɔsan ɛka de to so ne sɛ yɛbie sukuu no tum sɛ final year students no nkɔnkɔtoro sɛ junior high school sɛ ɛyɛ senior high school sɛ university yɛwɔ nsɔre bi hɔ no mu a wɔn mu nyanyina a wɔn nan so wɔn nsa nyanso wɔn akyi sɛ wɔn betumi esi wɔn asɔre dan nti wɔn no sukuu dan mu ɛna wɔn kɔ asɔre ɛsɛ saa deɛ no ɛnyɛ adwuma asɛm asoafoɔ ne ka no ɛnyɛ adwuma sisei woyɛ asɔre na sɛ unni asɔre dan a ɛna dabre park bi so na wɔbɛpɛ na wo no nkrɔfoɔ mu asom sɛ ebie sukuu dan ma sɛ bra bɛyɛ asɔre wɔ hɔ contact tracing nti ahwɛ yi a wo no nkrɔfoɔ a no bɛba bɛgu ɔno bɛgya biribi agu nkɔda bɛba bɛtena se no na ɔno bɛte abɔre ɛsɛ ha yɛ ankasa ma mu mie sukuu ɔmo mpɛ saa asoboɔ no ne ɛyɛ tipaeɛ no nti sɛ nsɔre biara so ɛntimi nkɔ so ɛwɔ ɛyɛ various schools no nti so far questions amanfo ebisa ye ne de minister nankasa ede ba ye mefa nse nepo ebi na mediabro ye twe homra na ye ba ekobo bi aka kire bia no ye de beto so ewo Pampaso edwumadie so medi edna na sei ampofo eje na ɛwɔ bɛ Kofi Ampadu ɛna time achi deɛ duro no kra deɛ ɔpanin si memfansi he yanti ibesia ne akyea mu pi nyame adom adase ne Pampaso dwumadi ɛbɛsan aba na yɛne mu aba bɛtoa so